What's up, everybody? I'm just chilling in the park right now and reflecting on something that happened a few days ago and thought I'd talk about it here. So the second semester, it just started. It's the first week of classes and I only have 2 in-person classes. Most of them are online because online classes are easier, like literally 10 minutes of work a week and no in-person quizzes or tests, so you can easily use the methods. I'll just call it that. And yeah, they're just boring gen ed classes anyways. They're offered fully online, so I'm always going to take that opportunity, more free time. But some classes, unfortunately, I can only take in person. These are both required for my major and are going to be my most difficult classes, even though none of my classes are ever really that difficult because I'm a business student, which is I'm really only in because it's extremely easy. Probably one of the easiest degrees you can get. Doesn't matter too much what business major. If you're in the business school, we share most of the same pointless, unfathomably boring classes anyways. So the first in-person class, it went fine. Pretty average, uninteresting class. Work seems manageable and I have a buddy in the class, so it'll be all right. The second class is the one I want to talk about. I don't have to take this class right now. I enrolled in it just to get a bit ahead, so I don't have to take it later on. I walked into this class for the first time and see that the professor and a student were engaged in a very thought-provoking conversation. I could tell the student was eager to learn, as he is already making a great impression by introducing himself to the professor and getting his name out there. Instantly I was thinking, yeah, this guy, he's a future rock star. He's gonna be employee of the month so many times you can't even count. 10-fold, 100-fold. He's gonna have so many pizza parties in his name you don't even want to know. You're probably just getting jealous thinking about it. I mean, I surely am. But anyways, I'll walk to my seat near the back of the class and sit down. The student and the professor continue talking until it's time for class to begin. Unfortunately, I can't hear it all. I really wish I did, but because I probably would have learned a lot of life-changing, super important information about things like data and systems and business intelligence and spreadsheets and all these other riveting topics. But unfortunately, I was sitting too far away to hear most of what they were saying. I guess it's what I get for being a slacker. But anyways, after I comfortably sat down for a bit, the conversation at the front of the class ended as it was eventually time for class to commence, and all of its excitements too. The student prodigy who was just in this deep, fascinating conversation finally came down the aisle and sat right next to me. I was in disbelief in being next to such an all-star student and future all-star employee. I was thinking in my head like, man, should I ask him for an autograph? Try to get a picture with him so I can post it on LinkedIn in 10 years being like, yup, I knew this guy. But I didn't have the courage. I felt like an inferior being next to a god amongst men. How could this guy be so awesome? But then the professor started talking and wow, he just stole the show. He started off with the syllabus, which pretty much showed it's going to be a very difficult class with a lot of work and tests being majority of the grade. So I actually have to learn something, which is unfortunate, something I'm not used to in these classes. Most of them are business gen eds and are so easy that all the exams are literal common sense. You don't have to learn a single thing. Just use the methods on all the assignments. Don't listen to a word the professor says, and for the test, don't even study. Just walk in, wing it, and get a B at minimum. But this syllabus showed that this class is going to be different. Not a walk in the park like most of my other classes, even the in-person ones have been. I saw that and decided that was enough. I don't have to take this class now. Almost everyone in here is older while I'm only halfway through college. Let me just drop this class. It's maybe 5 minutes into the class having started and I've already decided, yeah, I'm probably going to drop this class. So now I'm just sitting there with nothing else to do because it's the first class. I can't get on my phone or even open my laptop or listen to music, nothing. So I have to listen to the professor and see what he has to say, hear him out. And yeah, this guy, he talks a lot, a whole lot. He didn't even pause once. He just goes and goes. He introduced himself and all the wonderful things he's done for the whole remainder of the time I was there. He talks about his great achievements of his life, all in the workplace, of course, all as a stellar employee, project manager, team player. What really stood out to me was how he used the word "our" when referring to his achievements with companies he had worked at. Our profits went up by this much when I led this team. Our efficiency skyrocketed. And what I was confused about from all this was who is our? Who is we? Our profits? You mean your bosses, right? He's making a boatload of money while you're working for salary. You're a wage slave. You just made him a bunch of money. He's laughing to the bank going like, this fucking idiot. He just dedicated all his brain power and critical thinking and free time, sleepless nights to make sure I am making more money. Me, not him. I might host a office dinner party where I feed them absolute junk, everybody absolute junk in his name. And he'll go there, and all the other members of his team who also waste their time making another man money will give him a huge round of applause, and he's gonna feel like, yeah, I'm the man. yeah, you're the man, bro. You're the man, absolutely. And he just went on about all these incredible achievements and how he's lived the perfect ideal life. And of course, that's why he's a professor teaching a very boring class at a university, in addition to how many other jobs, God knows, and hustles, because this is his life. That's clear. This is everything to him. And yeah, it just keeps going. And after a while I was tuning some in, some out, getting more and more thankful I'm not doing this class, and beginning to contemplate just not staying here any longer, because I'm not in the class. Why would I? When I tune him in again, and he's talking about data centers. Now, we all know how great these are. So I instantly started to pay full attention. He said that there are many places in our great state and other places in the country which need data centers, which are perfect places for them to be put. Just wide open, flat, natural areas that need a massive data center and parking lot and Walmart and its own little small technological AI neo city. Yeah, why not? That sounds awesome. There's so many places, either fields or forests or valleys in between mountains, that would just be stunning areas for these data centers, which we need right now with all the technological booming going on. And we could be a part of these. We could work at these and help out with ideas and with business intelligences, systems, spreadsheet models, data stuff. Yeah, just super cool stuff. Be innovators and project leaders and valuable employees, really making a difference and making sure that those above us' pockets get thicker and thicker, and everyone local to these places, yeah, they'll suffer, sure, but it's a small sacrifice. They'll suffer knowing that technology is progressing, that the future is here, the future is now, and that the world is getting just more and more awesome. You know, technology, AI, robots, big cities, fuck yeah. So he went on about this and how we should be a part of something this great and noble. And I now realize that the class is about a third done, and there's so much more of this to come. And I'm beyond certain now that I'm not doing this class and just want to get out of here. The professor is constantly engaging with the class, and of course the student next to me is taking all of the glory, like he should, answering all the questions and asking as well with long, innovative, intriguing answers or questions too, putting more of the shine from all the awestruck students around me on my general radius though, because he's right next to me. I really wanted just to walk to the door and leave, but from where I was sitting, it was a long walk right down the middle aisle and right by where the professor is, and then finally I reached the door. It would be a so-called walk of shame, and I unfortunately had this feeling, which so many of us feel nowadays, which is a very unnatural feeling, very, very unnatural, which is caring what other people think, afraid to do or not doing something entirely what you want to do because you're afraid of other people's perceptions of you. And yeah, it's like I had the toughest route to leave. I'm walking right down the middle to be seen by everyone, going right by the professor, certainly gonna have whatever the professor's saying or is going on in the class stop, and everyone looking at me and frowning upon me for being rude or a bad, stupid student who's going nowhere, who's gonna be a bum, yada yada. But all these thoughts were very present in my mind, unfortunately. But then I realized that these thoughts of caring what other people think also go away if I leave, because I've escaped the realms of the people who do care what other people think, who do care about their reputation in society as a hard worker, as problem solving, a great employee, because that's what you're learning in college, and certainly is 9 to 5 or whatever time. Prison, office jobs that our dreams are ridiculous. That we should stick with the safe path because yeah, we care what others think about us, and if they think we're crazy and too ambitious and gonna be a homeless bum loser for not staying in school, working hard and getting a job at a big company, then obviously we should stay right here and just be obedient, obey our masters. And yeah, after this was all realized, I finally took the leap of faith and just walked out. It was a long walk out, and I didn't get yelled at or anything. I didn't look back, so had no clue what others were looking like or saying, and honestly didn't care. And it felt incredible. As soon as I got out of the class, I was rejoiced in the feeling of being alive. I just felt a free feeling that I had not felt for a very long time. It was a high. I was euphoric. I was walking back home just gleefully smiling and talking to random people and feeling phenomenal, like I was on top of the world. It was awesome. When I was close to getting home, I was still very euphoric. I was off campus at this point, walking further away from it, and saw this one guy walking on his way to campus, most likely to go to a class. And I said to him, "It's a prison over there, man. It's a prison." And he just responded with a smile and said, I know. Just laughing it off, smiling it off, accepting it pretty much, like we all do. I mean, I'm still a student after all. I just dropped one class, and although I'd be a lot more free because of it, I still indulge. I'm not completely free of captivity. But yeah, this guy, and I hope he's doing well. Just reflecting on it now, I think it's so crazy how okay we are with being prisoners to our jobs or to school or whatever it is. Some more than others for sure, depending on their workload, how much they're paying, money and time wise, etc. But it's like, I relate this to me having escaped the prison, like a prison serving time behind bars. I'm walking away feeling great, ecstatic that I'm free once again. And I'm walking past someone who's walking the exact opposite way, into prison, turning himself in to lose all his freedoms. And for what? Just existing? The crime of existing? I mean, it's sad, really. But yeah, I'm just so happy to be out of that class. I think I talked about most of it by now, what it's gonna look like and the workload and all that. I'm just now remembering one other thing that he said that I just randomly tuned in. He was talking about terabytes and petabytes and all these other technological terms for ridiculous amounts of data or whatever the fuck. I think that's what it means. And it has me thinking, like, man, is this really what life is supposed to be? Like, does this actually matter? The difference between a terabyte and a petabyte. Now I'm thinking, why do those even exist? How do we come to this? We're supposed to be in nature, outside, enjoying the sun and the mountains and forests and rivers, oceans, whatever your area has to offer. Be with our families and starting our own families, and be with close friends who we grew up with and we'll get old with, and playing and exploring and climbing, hunting, fishing, adventuring, building, crafting, relaxing. List goes on and on. That's the life we all want. But no, instead we're learning about financial accounting, macroeconomics, spreadsheets, and very soon we'll be doing this for at least half of our day, every single day. So worn out when we get home that we're too exhausted to even do the fulfilling things, making memories. Instead, just chill on the couch, which is of course leagues better than working, doing something you find boring and soul-sucking. But man, what life could be. And forget traveling, seeking new places. You'll get that maybe a couple weeks a year if you're lucky. And don't take what I'm saying here as being a spoiled brat or not being grateful to be in such a privileged position. There are people out there born in war zones seeing and experiencing horrible, horrific things with no sign of any bright future to come, only more tragedy. I am very grateful to have two loving parents going to college pretty much for free because of scholarships. Literally the only reason I'm here. And I'm also not saying that college is the worst thing ever. I mean, social aspect, clubs, all that's all fun. But I just want to say, why settle? Why have some good things, but also a lot of things you don't want to do, that you don't enjoy? In college, and especially as a business student, sure, it's only a couple hours of work per week, but after college, real adult life, less than half of your day is truly yours. I'm still in college as of now, only haven't dropped this class. Feeling a lot better that way, but still a student nonetheless. People might say to people who question college or their 9-to-5 job or whatever it is that has them spending time working towards someone else's goals, not their own, what are you gonna do? You don't have anything else going for you. How are you gonna make money? It is true that, sure, in my case, it would be seen as insane to just fully drop out of college. I have 12 subs on my YouTube channel, no business or anything, and maybe a lot of other people who want to leave their form of captivity behind may also not have something going at the moment that could drive them to leave, like a business that is showing signs of doing very well, a bright future. The truth is that a lot of people would say, work on these while you're in college or work on your job. Don't take that leap of faith and end up on the streets. Instead, just wait. Wait on your dreams. Wait on living life. Play the long game. But I look at that, and I can't talk too much because I haven't left. I'm still a student. I look at that and say, it's not that easy to work on these things, your dreams, when most likely school or work has become your first priority, the overwhelming force. It's hard to balance them. If someone asks you, what are you? Who are you? Would you answer first with the title student or accountant or whatever? Probably. And you might say, I'm working on my dream, whatever it is, on the side. So then, that's not your number one, your go-to. And that first thing leaves you so worn out that even when you're out of work or school, unfortunately, it's hard to get the focus, the strength and energy to put yourself in your remaining time of the day towards what truly matters to you. You've already used it all. College is where dreams go to die. How many people out there, if you ask them their dream life, best it could possibly get, will their answer involve a few hours or even most of the hours of their day or week doing something they don't love, and more likely than not something they find boring, tedious, dreadful. But we're so compliant and good at following instructions now, as we've been taught, that we'll let exactly this happen. At least we're not homeless, right? Or living in a war zone. So yeah, there it is again. Why settle? Remember, they don't want a nation of thinkers, but of workers.